Good evening, friends from the future, because by the time anybody starts watching these, we're probably already going to be out on the water. Today, I wanted to break down a couple of the boats that I'm looking at. We're going to go through the things that, you know, the things that they are engineered specifically for, and the thresholds that you have to push it a little further or make it through, waters that are a little more shallow than they're probably made for. Uh, See what the tolerances are. We're going to discuss all that. I've been working on the website, getting something put together over there. You know, getting together a little product line, something that's not just the same old regurgitated designs over and over again. Because that's what everybody needs is another back vented fishing shirt, right? Uh, but we're going to get into that later. Instagram is live at Twin Crossings, and got a new post up, and that new post is going to be the topic of the video today. Uh, that video today, what I wanted to work with, is that I got a couple of boats that I'm looking at, and so let's get to what you people actually came here for, and that's to listen to the ramblings of a madman. Uh, you know, this is Twin Crossings. I'm Chris, and I wanted to bring boats on the market for your consideration. All right, so we got three very different boats, three very different philosophies of engineering, and that's really, the biggest decision to make is what are you going to do cruising? What am I going to be capable of doing as somebody with limited sailing experience, and with a family that has a handicapped child in it, you know, how far and how long can he go being away from, quality medical care, should a health event arise? These are all things to, take into account, and I'm weighing these heavily. But we gotta talk about stuff. We gotta put our plans out there for the experts to give us feedback, and that's what I'm doing today. So first up, we got the PCI Gemini 3100. The one I'm looking at. Let me share my screen. Let's go over here. All right. So let's see. Going over here. Going to Facebook. All right. So here she is. Nice little boat. He's asking six. I've talked to him about it already. Uh, he said he would take a little less for it. You know, but one thing, I don't know if you see that right there. Vaucluse, Virginia. You know, like we from down here in the swamp. I don't know if that's French. That might be Native American, but I'm gonna say it how it looks, and to me it looked French. Uh, but it's gutted. So looks like it's got decent rigging on it. It's got the sails, it's got the jib. All the stanchions are there. It looks clean. Like the exterior of it looks nice. Needs a little bit of paint on the top side. It looks like. But that's no big deal, man. I ain't afraid of a roller. I ain't afraid of a sprayer. We can get after it. Uh, Mass looks like it's decent. Sail, it's got some wrinkles in it, but like I know enough right now to be able to say, hey, I ain't a good sail no more. Well, put that bitch on the water and find out. Uh, but it's been gutted. The good thing about these Geminis, from what I've seen, is everything's built in pretty much. It's all glass now. It looks like. So I mean, you've got bones to work with, but it don't look like it's got any signs of water intrusion anywhere that I can see. It looks dry. It looks nice. It's got all the shit that I don't know about is already done to it, and what it's missing is what I'm good at. So, missing the engine cover potentially, but if it runs, it ain't got to have a cover on it. You know, got us a wind vane up there. I like that. You know, bunch of good looking rigging. Nothing looks bad. You know, the thing that I really like the most about the Geminis, you know, other than being a Gemini, uh, what I like the most about them, you know, it's a cat, right? But it's a pocket cat. So you got a regular beam, get that bitch into most places. But I really like the 18-inch draft. You know, with the 18-inch draft, I can bring that all the way inland to pretty much where I live now. You know, my kids can stay, you know, close enough to the rest of the family while the boat's being outfitted. You know, move to a different spot and you know, get a place on the river that's got a boat launch. You know, or a dock that I can work on it from and get it right. You know, get ready to move out. You know, but you read about what people deal with the Gemini. You know, it's like, man, as much as I would really like to be able to beach something, you know, get it close so that my kids can just hop off of it and go play. You know, at the same time, I want to go somewhere. You know, I want to get. I would love to get through the Azores and out to the Canary Islands, go through Gibraltar, sail the Med. You know, that's it's a beautiful part of the world that a boy from the swamp ain't never seen. And they've had people that do it. You know, I've read people's accounts of, you know, doing crossings in a Gemini. But at the same time, like, I just don't trust that it's made to that standard. And with children on board, I gotta know. You know, I gotta know that that thing's gonna make it. If it ain't gonna make it, I ain't gonna get it. You know. And so that's where we at on the Gemini. You know, I've got the, you know, input of my wife to consider, and if she is, you know, down to cross, you know, maybe this boat isn't in my favor, but if that seems like it's an unrealistic expectation, then we're gonna, you know, end up getting a boat that we're never gonna utilize properly and miss out on the things that could be fun, that would be more realistic to try to do. So that's the Gemini. That's what I think about it. You know, if it was a Prout Snow Goose, you know, there's a really nice Prout Snow Goose in the Dominican Republic, but it's a little bit pricier than what I want to get, even if it is, you know, refitted already. You know, but things break, and I don't want to fucking take everything I got to get a boat that I still got to put the same amount of money back into. You know, all the guys that know what they're talking about apparently they say, man, you buy a boat, you want to spend what you already spent in the next year whenever you get it out there to repair things that break. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to end up in that situation. So there's that. All right. So the second boat, all right, 1981 CNC Landfall 48 footer. The big selling point for this boat for me. It's not the, you know, the indoor helm, you know, to stay out the weather. It ain't nothing to do with that. It's not that big old beautiful cockpit. It's that right there. That pilot house, that raised deck height makes a nice companionway. And when you've got, you know, a couple of steps down and you've got a, you know, handicapped child that he can walk, you know, but he ain't walking good. He'd need help, you know. And so the bigger the companionway, the easier it's going to be for him to move around and enjoy himself. You got a spacious kitchen. You know, we're going to have to do some modifications. But that that is a thick hulled, real blue water cruiser, in my opinion. What I've understood about these things, and for the price of that, man, it's that's the one that's really speaking to me. But you know, with that deep of a draft, I want to say I was looking it up on Sailboat Data. I want to say it had like a 6.5 foot draft, maybe. Like, that looks about 6.5, 7 foot. If I'm looking, if my eyes don't deceive me on guesstimating how tall that water line sits. Uh, so you're definitely going to be utilizing that dinghy to get to the beach for sure. Uh, that first big cruise through the Bahamas, once I get the get the gumption and get everything sorted out, you know, there's gonna be a lot of places I probably can't go with that. I've been looking through the depth charts. You got some shallow water out there. Last thing I want to do is beach a boat with my family. That's gonna suck. Uh, so that's but to do that Atlantic crossing, that's the boat I would want to do it in. But I don't think that the CNC Landfall was a high production number boat. I'd have to, get some kind of uh, research done on that before I make a decision. But that's what brings me to third boat that I've been looking at, and good old Catalina, man. It's got the triple cabin interior on it, 42 foot, two heads. That is, that's a boat that people have circumnavigated on. It is basically the Chevy truck of the sea, from what I understand, and that's what I drive. That's what I work on. My wife's Caprice station wagon is everything in it is the same as a Chevy truck. My square body Chevy, the simplest, most dependable vehicle I've ever dealt with. I mean, the only thing simpler than that, you're getting into a Volkswagen Beetle territory, and I want more than four bolts to hold everything together. Uh, but it's a nice boat, man. You know, looks like somebody loved it and had a good time in it. But that triple cabin, outfit one of those cabins with a bunk. My three kids got their own place to sleep, man. Open living room. I don't really care about the bedroom for us, man. I'm not going to be sleeping much. I'm going to be exploring. We want to explore. You know, got the little live, laugh, love, thankful up there. Cute. Sea turtles on the ceiling. Like it. Ahoy, matey. Yeah. But she getting squirrely. You as I heard somebody say in something I was watching, guy said there have been more Catalinas to circumnavigate than any other boat. And then caveated that by saying there have been more Catalinas sunk circumnavigating than any other boat in the world as well. So, you know, it's plentiful parts, easy to work on from what I understand, and do I want to be in the process of working a bigger boat that has less, you know, a smaller community of guys that I can learn from about it, and uh, larger systems, you know. But I hear people say, "Don't get tripped up on the first boat," but I would like to make the best, most informed decision that I can on the first boat. And I know people say it's not forever, but it's I don't imagine that there's a full lifetime of cruising ahead of me. Likely, you know, if I only got 5 years to do this, and kids are ready to go back to a normal life, and wife's ready to be done with it, that might be the only chance I got. So I want to make sure that I get something that I can really, maximize the comfort and likelihood of extending that. Uh, you know, you know. But what we're doing is we're reading, we're studying, we're getting ready for the 101 course. We're gonna ace that bitch. We're gonna ace that thing. I've been working on it. But that's what I had to talk about with y'all today. Man, I'd love to get some feedback from somebody. Somebody sees this in a relatively short order. That'd be cool. If not, I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. That's all you can do. You just gotta keep doing the thing, and we're gonna keep doing the thing, moving towards getting out there on the water, getting out of this rat race of a land life, as well as finding something that ignites the passion even further. I'm trying to find people, in the Louisiana area. I mean, shit, I'll go to Biloxi Bay, St. Louis too. Shit, I'll go to Galveston. Find some people that are doing some Gulf crossings. I'll take a weekend and ride back, rent a car. Uh, if anybody needs some crew around there, anybody knows somebody, shit, somebody got a boat that they looking to get rid of, and they just trying to find the right person. Let's talk about it. You know, I'm down to talk, but it was good. It's gonna be better. Peace.